Welcome to Connecting the Community podcast. I am your host, Marj Andre. I will be connecting you to people, organizations, and events that create community. I am creating this podcast in Richmond Hill, an eclectic and very culturally diverse community with lots of trees and streams and interesting people, just up the hill from Toronto. On this podcast, I am talking with Ana Kippel from Sunshine Therapy Dogs. She is the program director for the newly founded York chapter. Welcome, Ana.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Oh, I am so glad that we could have this conversation. Ana, can you introduce yourself and also tell us about your dog or dogs?
Yes. So my name is Ana, and I am the program director for Sunshine Therapy Dogs in the York region. How I got started was I actually was a volunteer. I started last October with my dog, Sophie. Sophie is 8.5, and she is a beautiful golden retriever. She passed the assessment, and I knew she would because she's such a great dog. And then we started volunteering, and she really enjoyed it, and so did I. And then I decided to have my second dog, Luna, who is 1.5 years, and she's also an amazing dog. Great with people, gives paws. They're both very, they have huge hearts, very kind, gentle dogs, very great demeanor. They're great with kids and elderly people. They're just amazing. So I thought Luna was also going to be a great fit, and they could do it together because they're sisters. Yeah, and then what happened was the person that had my role was in fact too busy to do it because this is a volunteer job. And so I decided, you know what, maybe I might be interested in this role. And so I took it over and went from there. And now I do the coordinating for York region, and I'm trying to recruit more dogs, more volunteers, because I do only at the moment have 20 dogs, and I'm hoping by the end of the year I have about 450.
Okay, well, it does sound like you have a very big volunteer role, and I'm very glad that you're doing that. Now, I need to know more about Sunshine Therapy Dogs. I told my husband yesterday I was going to be talking to you about therapy dogs, and he said, is it therapy for dogs? Or do dogs give the therapy? And of course, It's the dogs giving the therapy.
Yeah.
So tell us about Sunshine Therapy Dogs. How did it get started?
Actually, it was started not too long ago by the founder's name is Alan Harmon, and he started in 2020, and it's just been growing from there. The York region is kind of new. That's why I don't have that many dogs. The Toronto region has probably hundreds of dogs, but it's a great foundation. We go to schools, hospitals. We go to corporate events, seniors' homes. For example, today I went to a seniors chair yoga program, and I took both of my two dogs, and they fell asleep. And everybody was really calm, and they loved it. Also, before that, I went to a school with my dogs in the area, and they had us go into a grade 3 class, grade 3 and 4, and the kids read to the dogs. And that was a great visit. Today was very successful. And so I really would love to grow the York region. It's a very large region.
Yes, a big job there. I hope you get lots of people joining you. Yes. So I did go to the website, and you've got a good website, lots of pictures of cute dogs. Yeah. And there really are two sort of sections. One is soliciting requests for people and organizations that might benefit from a visit from a dog or dogs. And two, you're asking for dog volunteers or actually dog owners. Let's start with talking about the dogs and the dog owners. There's an assessment. Can you tell me what that really entails? What qualities, both the owner and the dog, are good fits for being part of Sunshine Dog Therapy?
Well, I go to a dog park almost every day, a couple of them, and I meet people every day that are interested in volunteering with their dogs. You just have to kind of know your dog. You have to be able to control your dog. Every breed is great with us. They do have to pass a test, an assessment, which involves, we won't pass a dog that's aggressive. of course, because we are dealing with elderly and young children. If the dog is, really, if it doesn't like loud noises, that might be a problem. If it's too skittish or scared, if it's too afraid of a crowd, we won't pass those dogs. They have to be really, really comfortable with a crowd, because we do go to schools and the kids, they come and crowd around the dog. So that's very important. Behavioral, we really would like to see a dog that does not jump on people, does not bark. Well, it could bark here and there, but not, constant barking. Children don't like loud noises, and some dogs bark really loud. My dogs don't bark at all unless they see a squirrel. So we are looking for, also the volunteer has to have some sort of empathy to be able to give their free time to volunteer and do this. And my volunteers are all amazing. They love doing this and they come out of it like just feeling so good. And then, our dogs are great. If you go to our website and you go to under York region, you'll see my dogs there. And
Okay.
they're so cute, but they're all so, so sweet.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, is there specific training for the volunteers?
No, the volunteers, we don't train the humans. So there is an assessment. So the first step would be for me to have a phone call with the possible volunteer. They would volunteer off our website, or unless I talk to them at the park or somewhere and talk to them about it, I'll give them my card or phone number. So that the first step would be that. And then second step would be a phone call, like a small little interview, just to get to know the owner and the dog. They tell me about the dog, all that. And then we have the assessment test. And that is something that I book. Typically, I will book it it's done in a library. This July, it's at Richvale Public Library in Richmond Hill, and it is from 2 till 4 o'clock. And we will have myself and probably Alan might be there, and then the dog trainer. Our dog trainer's name is Maggie, and she will either pass or fail the dog. And it takes about 20 to 30 minutes for the test. It's free. And then after that, they know right away if they pass or fail. And then if they pass, all we need is their vulnerable sector check. And that might take a week, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, possibly, or some people might already have it. And then after that, I go with them on their first visit. And then if I feel it, comfortable, then they're good on their own. Like I give them if everything they need, bandanas, t-shirts. And then if I feel like I need to go a second time, then I will, because I really need to read the dog and make sure everything is okay, because you don't want anything bad to happen. So, and then we have a board for our volunteers to look at. And I send that out by email every week, and they can look at it and choose their visit, because there's probably a couple every month, and then they sign up and that's it.
Okay.
They're good to go.
Well, thank you for detailing that. You answered a lot of my questions of how actually it would work. So, yeah. So it's both, and on the website, you say there's both an individual can request a visit or organizations, and you've mentioned schools and nursing homes. So how does making this request work? Like, do you fill a form online? Can you call?
Yes.
And can you state like what dog you want?
Also, typically the person that wants a request from a dog, for example, an individual, or corporations or schools or anyone would go on the website and fill out a form. They don't have to call.
Okay.
So what happens if in whatever region you are, let's say you're in my region, you get that email goes to me. Let's say you're in Richmond Hill, it goes to me. If you live in Toronto, it goes to someone else. And then I follow up I typically would call them and get to know the person that needs the dog therapy. Typically, it would be, if it's an individual that is requesting, it's typically for anxiety or stress, or a child might be upset about something, and the dog therapy really, really helps calm them down. So then we just book a date and we meet up.
Okay, so that sounds simple enough. Nothing too complicated.
No.
So there's no cost for an individual visit or
No.
for nonprofits, but there is a fee, say, for a large company to have dogs come in, correct?
For companies or corporations, it's typically 500.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's very worthwhile for the company. So, and
It's great. The employees love it.
I can imagine they would. Now, are the volunteers covered by insurance?
Yes.
Okay, so the organization has insurance. Good. Okay.
Yes.
And the volunteers get background checks, and that's I've had to get one. Is simply submitting a form online, so nothing too onerous with that. And the dogs do need to have the vaccination records.
The dogs all need to have their vaccinations. The owner will email me that.
Okay.
Yeah, they all have to have that.
Okay.
Most people have it.
Yeah, definitely. So, after a visit, does the dog owner fill out any assessment of how it went? Nope, nothing. No paperwork is required. Okay, just curious. Okay, so you've mentioned about July 12th at Richville Library. I think that's a very good location for such thing.
Yeah, Richville Public Library.
Yeah,
it's free to come, free parking.
Yep, it's a good location.
It is a good location. They're so nice there.
Yeah, I think very highly of librarians, so I think that's a good way.
So do I.
Yeah. So if you could not come July 12th, you're away on your summer vacation?
If you are away July 12th, we're always scheduling assessments, so it'd probably be in another 2 or 3 months somewhere. I'm not sure. It could be in Toronto. If you live in my region, you can always go to the Toronto date if they have room, if they might possibly fit you in. But right now, as of July 12th, I really would like to have 20 dogs come and test. Right now I have 13 so far.
Okay.
So I still have room.
Definitely. Okay, very good. Well, I hope you get 20 dogs there. I think it's so beneficial what you are doing. I don't really have good words for describing why I think it's so beneficial, but I know I've gone into a place, it was at a senior's residence, and there's a dog there. I'm there for business or something else, and I just had to get down and pet that dog and give that dog a hug, and it felt so good.
Of course. We have a new dog. Her name is Lacey, and her owner is Lisa, and they just passed their first assessment test. They were with me at an event this weekend called Create in Markham, and this dog is so amazing. And also the dogs are amazing because the volunteers are amazing. They give their heart and soul. This is something they don't get paid for. It's all a volunteer. The value and the benefits of having a therapy dog, it's also so good for people, for the actual owners. It reduces the stress and, anxiety, depression. And when you're around a dog, you just feel happier.
Yeah, definitely. I did look at your website where they had the articles on the effects of it, some of the studies done. And really, it is amazing about the real effects of dogs. It's not just something I feel that I think there's been scientific evidence done for that.
I've heard that dogs can smell stress and anxiety. Well, dogs don't judge us, Mm-hmm. They just want love. They just want us to love them, and they just want our attention. They would never, for myself, my dogs help me out every day with just being with me. I do have some days where I have a lot of anxiety, and my dogs take that away. I just have to sit down, and they're like 2 big pillows anyway. They're very, very fluffy golden retrievers. Of course, there's hair everywhere, but I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we've made so many people happy and feel better, especially my seniors, that honestly, I have to see them every week because I just have fallen in love with these seniors, and they're lonely. They're really lonely. And when they see Sophia and Luna, it changes their day. And most of them have dementia and Alzheimer's. And, I still love going there. It's not always easy to see, but it's always a good visit. It's always very successful. And I make them smile, right?
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for doing that. Thank you for being an organizer with Sunshine Therapy Dogs. I think You're making us a better world, better community for doing that. No, it's just, it's so good that it was started. Does the organization, do you get together with the owner, the person who started it, and other directors from other regions? Do you talk about your goals and what you want to do?
I am kind of new to this position. It's only been 2 months, so I've only really met Alan, the founder.
Founder, okay.
But we all live so far from each other. It's hard. There is in about 2 weeks, I think there's a barbecue coming up. I'm going to try to make it, but it's in Toronto. I'm in Thornhill. It's a little bit tough.
That it would be so good if all of you guys could get in one room and share. I think it would be such positive energy.
Yeah, there's just so many of us.
Yeah, no, definitely. Again, thank you for what you are doing.
You're welcome. Can I also mention a few of my dogs that are amazing?
Yes, please. Yes.
So I talked about Lacey, I talked about Luna and Sophie. There is another Sophie, and she is a sheepadoodle. She is on the website. She's a great, great dog. There's another one, Millie, and there is also another one, Shiloh. They are just amazing, amazing dogs. So, yeah.
And are there pictures on the website?
Yeah, their pictures are on the website.
Okay, so people have to go see this website that you have. So, again, thank you for remembering. Cute. Thank you for telling us about those dogs. So that's
they're just amazing, amazing dogs, and they help a lot of people.
Before we end, I do want to ask you the question that I ask every guest. I want you to name one thing you really like about this community.
Oh, there's more than one thing, but one thing I love about this community is there's a real sense of connection, especially at the dog park. If you have a dog, we all kind of connect with each other. We show up for each other. We have a dog chat that the dog park, we have a WhatsApp chat, and we can, if somebody lost their phone, somebody will be on that chat and be like, you forgot your phone at the park. We all share little information within the community. We all support each other, neighbors lending a hand, how people kind of come together for events or causes. There's just a genuine spirit of kindness and collaboration that makes it feel,
Nicely said. I think we need to hear that we do live in a good community. So thank you, Ana, for taking the time to do this podcast. I really enjoyed talking with you. I hope I get to meet you and your dog sometime soon.
Thank you. Well, thank you for having me on. And we would love to have a play date with you.
Okay, thank you. I don't have a dog, but I'll come and see you.
As long as you have a few tennis balls.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. I would very much appreciate you sharing this podcast. Consider emailing me at Marj, M-A-R-J, at marjandre.com. I welcome suggestions for podcast guests. Stay well, stay connected.